All right, well, on the bench right now is a very dirty Yamaha CD player. This one is a CDC-697. Haven't even powered it up yet. Thought I'd bring you along for the initial checkout. There's the power button. Let's turn it on. And, oh, gotta hit the standby on button, and I see nothing. I do have power applied. Is it actually plugged in back here? Yes, it is actually plugged in. I get absolutely nothing here. Okay, well, I'm suspecting power supply. Well, let's go ahead and pop it open and see what it looks like inside. Okay, I swear when we tested this just a few minutes ago, it had absolutely no display. So let me kill some lights in here. If I can balance this thing with one hand. And it might be kind of hard to see, but there is actually a display there. Very, very dim. Maybe I just didn't see it. I had the cell phone right up there recording, and it had no display. But anyhow, it does have a display now. Well, let's pop a disc into it and see if it wants to try to read it. And the drawer does open. That's a very good sign. Definitely see a couple of belts here. They're not in the worst shape in the world. I know I've had to change one of these before. I remember that little plastic shield over the top of it. No, not that one, ding dong. Try disc number 2. Well, let's get some speakers connected to this thing and see if it makes any sound. Well, as far as I can tell, it's actually working. Well, I'm a little concerned with how dim the display is. I think I'll try to find a service manual on this thing and see if there might be a coupling capacitor in series with the filament from the transformer, because this thing actually does have an iron core transformer over here on the side. And if you remember I think it was a Kenwood little compact system, very small little CD player, very small receiver. It had a couple of 100 microfarad coupling caps that were bad, that was keeping the display from lighting. And that might be the reason I didn't see it when it was first turned on. As the capacitor warms up, the ESR of the capacitor typically drops on a failing capacitor. And I swear the display is a little bit brighter than it was just a few minutes ago. Maybe that's the whole problem. Well, like I said, let me try to find a schematic on this thing and we'll move forward from there. All right, so I did find a service manual on this unit, and here is the power transformer that I showed you, the iron core transformer. And this winding right here, although it's not drawn to scale obviously, if you follow it, it goes to these two leads right here, and they claim 3.8 volts AC. And so if I follow those two leads around town, and I bring this back around, they go up, then they end up right here as FL2 and FL1. And so if I follow those back around town, there is the VFD, the Vacuum Fluorescent Display right here. And what is that, 31 and 30, as well as 59 and 60. You can always tell on a vacuum fluorescent display, they're always the end leads are the filament leads. And so you can see they're actually floating at a different reference voltage. At the, I believe it's the cathode voltage, minus 22 volts. So there really shouldn't be any other connection to this unit except the filament voltage. We'll bring it back up here. No connection there. And we've got no connection anywhere. There's not even a center tap on that winding to apply voltage to it. That's pretty interesting. I thought they applied a voltage to this. Could they be doing it? It doesn't look like that's even connected, but okay, we'll go with what they say. So no coupling caps on this unit. I think the VFD, the vacuum fluorescent display, is just used up. So I could go ahead and check and make sure I've got a good minus 28, I think it's 0.6 volts right here, which is what actually drives the vacuum fluorescent display. I wonder what they're doing. I wonder if one of these is actually connected. I'm going to have to zoom in and see if there's actually a dot, maybe a dot here and a dot there through these 100 ohm resistors, because they need to add a bias to the heater to make the vacuum fluorescent display operate correctly. So let me zoom in on that and see if one of those is actually connected. If it is, there's a possibility that one of these 4.7 at 50 volt caps could be having a problem. One moment, please. Okay, well, I got it printed out and something went horribly wrong in the vector of the print and a bunch of really weird diagonal lines appeared, and yeah, some of these are just not... What letter is that? I'm not even sure. But anyhow, yes, you can clearly see that there is a bond to one of the filament leads and to the other filament lead. This does not actually exist. It's not doubly shorted right there. And like I said, I'm not quite sure what's going on with these lines, but something in Adobe Acrobat PDF decided to go south, as electronics do. So this is a 4 upside down triangle K resistor. Yes, okay. Anyhow, let's go and check those capacitors and see if they might be going south for some reason. Not quite sure what's going on there, but yeah. Okay, so I thought I would just go ahead and check and see if we have that. I think it said about 23 volts on the negative side of the capacitors. And so, yeah, I've got negative 23.17 volts. So let's go ahead and go to AC, and we're supposed to have, I believe it was 3.8 volts. If I can get down here between both negative leads. We'll just scoot that one out of the way, and I have 3.83 volts, which is the filament voltage. Next, we'll just go ahead and do an ESR check on both those caps and see what they test like. Okay, let me see if I can get in here without blocking everything. I should actually shut the power off first, I guess. Yeah, that's a good idea. And I see 1.7, 1.8 ohms on the first one. And I see 1.6 ohms on the second one. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, for a 4.7 microfarad cap, that is absolutely excellent. Well, I just don't know what to do with this thing. I guess I'll just go ahead and give it a quick cleaning, charge him basically a half-hour labor, and give it back to him because it seems to work. I think I'll go ahead and I've got a speaker sitting out in my hallway just playing some music that is supposed to cut out. Maybe you'll see it, a JBL John B. Lansing speaker that is supposed to be having a problem, but I have not got it to act up yet. You might be able to hear it in the background. So I think I'll just go ahead and yeah, give this thing a cleaning, and yeah, I can definitely lube the turntable spindle motor. Like I said, the belts, you can barely see that one belt in the camera right there. They are actually in excellent condition. This one uses an optical sensor right here to detect the rotation of the tray that you can almost see off camera here to tell what disc it's on as it makes and breaks the light beam. It does have a mechanical up-down switch that I've never had a problem with on one of these things. But yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and give it an optical pickup cleaning and lube the spindle motor and the sled with a little droplet of oil. Wow, even that belt is in mint condition. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove these two screws that hold the magnetic clamp. There's a magnet behind that right there. So the screws will stay on it. It actually clamps to the turntable right there, the spindle motor. And we'll zoom in on this optical pickup and see if it actually looks bad or not. Well, even with the LED flashlight, that thing is virtually spotless. I see just the slightest amount of buildup on it. So, well, let's go ahead and give it a wipe down. And like I said, we'll lube the turntable spindle motor. Send this thing back out on its way. Okay, so cotton swab just moistened very lightly with just regular household glass cleaner. Just adding a very small amount of downward force. And we'll give it a quick wipe down as well. All right, well, I think it is a little bit cleaner than when we started. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe the turntable surface with the cotton swab as well. Just make sure the CD sits absolutely flat. So I'm just going to go ahead and add just a droplet. Well, kind of right there. I'll wipe it off. Guess I should use my eyes instead of looking at the camera. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I just want to get some oil in the bushing. A lot of times when the bushing actually gets dry on these things, it'll cause it to skip. So I've got some fresh oil down in the bushing right there. And I'm just going to lift this up and down a couple times to make sure it migrates down in there just a little bit. And then we'll put the thing back together and see what happens. Let's fire it back up. Plug the audio back into it. Open it up. We'll get a disc. Tell it to play number 2 this time. Let's go to the end of the disc. Okay, there it is, track number 18. This thing has about probably 65 minutes of audio on it. So it's basically utilizing the sled mechanism all the way to the end. And it's working great. I don't know what to do in a situation like this. I did some work to it. I checked the caps. Basically, my diagnostic for no problem found is half an hour, and my cleaning charge is half an hour. I'm just going to do a half an hour for cleaning it and give it back to the customer. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and load 5 discs into this thing and put it on random and set it out in my hallway and just let it play for hours on end just to make sure there's not a problem. So if I find a problem, I will get back to it and you'll see it. If not, I certainly hope you enjoyed the video on the Yamaha CDC-697 Natural Sound Compact Disc Player. Go ahead and leave me a question, a comment, a concern down below, good or bad. Your opinion, what I should do, what I shouldn't do. While you're done, hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really helps my channel grow. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. at norcal715. You can email me, norcal715videos@gmail.com. That is the best way to contact me. Please be patient. I have a full-time job, and I do these repairs in my spare time. Incidentally, if you contact me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, it might be weeks or even months before I respond. I rarely check those messages. Please, if you want to get a hold of me, use the Gmail address only. Remember, with your help, we can try to keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Everyone, thank you for making it to the end of this crazy diagnostic, maybe nothing video, I don't know. Thanks for watching. If you're so inclined, please, everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.